Hello. Okay, so basically, I every time I set an alarm, right? It happens. That's the thing. Okay. Let me just give you the basis of what happens, right? I set an alarm, and then I wake up before the alarm, right? This happens like at different times. I can wake up at like maybe 5 minutes before the alarm, maybe 2 minutes before the alarm. That's a common one. Maybe 10 minutes before the alarm, round about that range, but always before the alarm, right? And I was genuinely curious as why this happens, um, what's what's actually going on. And so I went on google.com and I looked up, why am I waking up before my alarm, what's going on, and is it only me? Am I special? No. I'm not, and that's okay. But it basically, what I could find wasn't like research, to be honest. It wasn't. I don't know why there isn't more studies on this. Probably because no one really knows what's going on. But a few like places like Quora and what have you, there were people like hypothesizing or giving theories as to what could be the cause. And one of them, there were like two, okay? But the main one that I was seeing people suggesting is that it's because it's because, wait, what did they say? Let me get this. I'm paraphrasing in case you didn't pick up on that. But we wake up because of not a churn or some kind of sound comes out of the alarm right before it rings. That's what they were saying, right? So before your alarm actually rings, there will be a sound that comes out of it before, a few minutes before. Well, actually, they didn't say how much time before that, right? Is it like 30 seconds before the alarm rings? Is it 10 minutes before the alarm rings? And that already like makes it incorrect, because I'm not waking up at the same time before the alarm every single time. That would make sense if it was like it has these times or whatever, but it was consistent. It isn't. So that already means that doesn't make sense. And on top of that, I did stay up. Like, I woke up one morning this week to study, and I listened to, actually I wasn't paying attention to my alarm, but I had set an alarm in case I didn't wake up, right? So I went and I studied, and then I heard like this little weird sound. I don't know if I heard it from my phone or if it was like outside my room, but there was a slight subtle sound that I heard, and then the alarm rang. But it happened right before the alarm rang. Like, it's the sound and then the alarm came in, right? So then I'm like, okay, say they are right about that sound that wakes you up without you being aware of it. Still, or maybe the sound is like a dog whistle. Like, we only hear it when we're asleep. Like, it's so faint, or it's like a dog whistle basically. Still, that doesn't make sense, because it would happen right before the alarm rang, right? Like, right before it rang. Say it was that sound, it was right before it rang, right? Continuously, a continuous thing with the alarm. So that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, because why am I waking up 10 minutes before the alarm, 5 minutes before the alarm? That would be suggesting that it would also be like a continuous ring, right, for that long. So that's no, results are incorrect, or false, or wrong. So then, this was a very uncommon suggestion as to what might be happening, but someone suggested that maybe when we set the alarm, our mind, as we're setting it, we're saying we're going to wake up at 4. Our mind kind of remembers that for us, because there's a lot of things going on in here that we don't even understand. So our mind remembers that. Our subconscious, conscious, whatever it is, picks up on that. Okay, we set an alarm for this time, so round about this time we need to be waking up. And your body and your mind and everything remember that, and you become an alarm of some sort, right? That makes more sense to me than that bogus first theory that they were making. No, that one makes a lot more sense, that somehow our mind is remembering for us that we want to wake up around this time, so it does. But then how do you explain using that? And I'm sure that one makes more sense, but using that, how do you explain the time specifically? Like, how does my body know it's 4, it's 5, if I'm not waking up the same day every day? It would be a different thing if I was waking up at 5 a.m. every single day, right? So my body eventually remembers when 5 is. It remembers the pattern of sleep, it keeps the patterns, but it's not every day that this happens. And that's another thing, it's not every day. This doesn't happen every single day, but it happens a lot. I don't know if you could hear that plane or helicopter. Anyway, so how do you explain that? How do you explain that it doesn't happen every day? And how would my body be remembering the time in that case, if I'm not waking up the same time every day and it's not happening every day? How would my body be remembering that? So the results are inconclusive, definitely, because no one's given me something. I like the second one more. It's closer to what might be happening, but it still doesn't explain, the time. How would my body know the time? How would it know 4 o'clock? And then you could argue maybe it's an internal clock that we have, right? But if you're gonna start arguing things like internal clocks and wiring systems, you better believe in astrology, because if we're gonna go crazy about things like this, then astrology really starts to, it doesn't seem that far-fetched. Just saying, just defending the astrology girlies. But yeah, I think there is no answer to this question, because it's just one of those things where people keep telling you how things happen. Like the first one was like, oh, the alarm does this and there's the sound and that's how that happens. It's always how, never why. Why is this happening? Why doesn't it happen to everyone? That's a good one. If the alarm makes sounds, why isn't everyone waking up? I don't know. The human mind, body, the human being is just a very interesting thing, isn't it? And we'll never know why some of these things happen. There are theories, but never facts. There's not a certain... It's like when we fall asleep and we see faces of people, there's so many theories of oh, you've probably seen them but didn't take note. How do you know that? How do you know this isn't a random face that's showing up in my mind? What if we're all connected collectively in our sleep? You know what I mean? It's just the human mind, it's so weird. So yeah, that's just a random thing that's been plaguing me. And I've been like this for a long time, for years. Strange. Good to know that I'm not alone in this. It does kind of get annoying at times, because it's ooh, I could have gotten 2 extra minutes of sleep, but